You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to the outer limits.
Did you know that the Earth is flat?
Yeah, I knew that shit.
I know you know. The Earth is flat. Don't forget it. Have fun on the flat Earth. Research it on the internet.
There's a lot of people who've been studying this flat Earth thing on their own. It's the only way you can do it. You sort of get the books out, get the internet out, and you sort of study it. You look at the ball, and you work it out. And a lot of people have had a big awakening, a big realization, a big change in their frequency. I mean, it is big. It's like space doesn't exist anymore. The planets, this infinite universe, infinite space, big stars, big suns, this has all been smashed up. Because the awakening is because being lied to, it sucks, It's a big lie. No one likes being lied to. It's like you've uncovered something, you've exposed something. You've got an amazing quote, I really like this. Most of the flat earthers don't even know it's flat. They're content with believing. This is true. There's a lot of flat earthers who just believe it's flat. They sort of look at the numbers. They haven't really caught the wave, because the awakening, the realization of flat earth is a big internal wave. And if you don't catch it, you've probably missed it.
I came up and the question that kept going in my mind, it's like, okay, when did it become a globe? And that's the question I put to everybody, including the people that are listening now. It's like, when did you know you were on a globe? How do you know you are where you think you are? And it usually comes down to two answers. The first is always the same. It's like, well, we know because we know. Duh. We've known since we were in first grade. And I said, well, just because you have a globe put in your classroom, in the corner of your classroom when you're in first grade, and you've been staring at it ever since you've been in school, and depending on when you left school, it was always there. Is that why you believe in it? And then they come back and they say, well, no, NASA told us. And I say, well, that's good and all, but NASA is a military wing of the United States government. And you're putting a lot of faith in these guys to tell you absolutely everything is true. Let's say 500 years ago, it was announced that we were living on a globe spinning around the sun was flying through space, and Milky Way galaxy, and galaxies, all this stuff. Let's say they couldn't prove that until they flew up high enough to take the picture in 1956, 1957, 1958, depending on when you're looking at it. If they were wrong, and it didn't look like what all the science books said, would they tell anybody? And that's, the story just branches off from there, and that's where we are now. From everything, all the research I've done, everything that I've looked into, it appears that the United States government and the Russians, who have been hand in hand on this, figured out that when they went out to Antarctica, which should just be this continent, it looks, approximately a little bit larger than Australia, really wasn't a continent at all, that it was just this giant endless field of ice. And there could be a border at the end of that ice, and that border extends all the way around us, and that we're not on a globe, that it's flat. And they decided to keep it a secret ever since 1956, and they've been doing a wonderful job of it over the last almost 60 years, but it's starting to fall apart now. And that's why when you type in, you don't even have to type in my stuff, you just type in flat earth into YouTube or Google or any search engine that you want. There's this huge movement that's been really taking hold since January, and it's questioning where we are now.
I know they're making moves, we're making moves, and I'm hoping our moves are eventually going to get enough people, I don't know, foot soldiers on the ground or something, flat earthers, to make a change in society. What do you theorize could happen potentially if all the work you do and all the work all the other flat earthers are doing, whether they make videos or not, gets critical mass? What do you think is going to happen?
I just want to know what's out there. That's my whole thing. I think if we get enough people curious about it, people are so darn curious about the unknown, and there's literally an unknown as far as we can tell. There's a big, big unknown just, a few thousand miles south in any direction.
Once you have this, go through the washing machine, this realization, it's an inner thing. It's an inner journey. Especially men, again, they're after the hard rationale and the numbers only. The numbers these things are required, the rationale is required, but it's really less than 50% of the realization. How does one look at things now after they know it's flat? Do people look at things differently? Do people contemplate things differently? Do people spend time alone in nature with a new sense of childlike wonder? Because if you just look at the numbers and it's flat and nothing changes inside you, then there's no real fucking point.